VMs versus containers. I know Liam is a big fan of containers. I've recently been dabbling with them. We did a bunch of stuff in February about containers and such. But usually when you, these days people will say like, oh, you got to run everything on containers. No, virtual machines, kind of like old school technology. No. But they are very similar at a high level. VM is hardware virtualization, and then we have containers, which is OS virtualization. You have namespace, C groups, and such. We have like sort of a difference of a bare metal hypervisor, and then we have a hosted hypervisor, so virtual machines. And then we have what a container would look like when you have the, applications, right? So we all have infrastructure, and then for the container, we have host operating system. For the hosted hypervisor, we have host operating system. And then for the bare metal version, we have the hypervisor, right? Then we have a guest OS level. And then on the hosted hypervisor, we have a hypervisor, then the host operating system, hypervisor, then the guest OS. And then the infrastructure part of the container part, we got infrastructure, host operating system, and then container engine. So there's no individual guest OS there. So we're saving space. It's more efficient and those kinds of things, right? And then your apps are, again, individual, right? Just like, with virtual machines as well, but there's no guest OS, right? We're going to demo already? Goodness. Anyway, last thing I wanted to say with these is containers are very popular because they're pretty, easy to pass along, to bring up. They have this analogy that's like, I think it's like pet versus cattle, kind of concept. Whereas your VM back in the day used to take care of it, oh, this is my pet. I got to make sure it's up to date. It's not necessarily something that you provision and destroy right away. Whereas containers are meant to be provision, destroy, that kind of thing, right? So that's the difference there. Very quick overview of VMs versus containers. How are we doing with time? All right, cool. Demo, yes. So for a recap for what we did last episode, we wrote the bicep code, the bicep template, and things like that. We didn't get it deployed, but we're going to do that today. We were working on, so the bicep template had VNets, 2 VMs, 2 network interfaces, public subnet, private subnet, and a network security group, so 1 for each subnet. And then we deployed, this is what we're going to deploy today, right? And then Liam is going to give us an overview of what we're going to do in his part of the demo today as well.
Yes, thank you, Gwen. So after we have deployed that network, what we're going to do is we're going to SSH into the virtual machines. We're going to go into virtual machine number 1. We're going to install an Apache server. We're going to modify some security groups so that I can access it from, the internet, my machine. And then I'm going to create and host a web page for you so we can see that all working. And then if we get time, I'll show something else as well. That'll be a surprise. I don't want to say it in case we don't get there. But yeah, this is the crux of today's demo.